Everything is fake. Hi, guys. Welcome to another solo episode of the Strong Female Athlete podcast. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about today. So, just to kick things off, that everything you see online, well, most of it is pretty much fake. I'm wearing sweatpants underneath this nice blouse that you see on camera. So, we are going to talk about all of that today and how a lot of the stuff you're seeing on social media is all smoke and mirrors. It's not all real. So it's kind of pointless to compare yourself or be jealous of others online and want your daughter to be like them, or you want to be like other sports parents or other coaches. It's just a waste of time. Oh, hi, Bella. Bella's really excited for this conversation. Hey, girl. Yeah, so let's get into it today. I'm going to start off with a crazy story that I heard about on social media in the TikTok world that happened around Christmas. So, right now we are in the new year of 2025. And during Christmas of 2024, a big scandal happened that just made me really wonder about people online and are they telling the truth? And I think it's making a lot of people question what they're seeing, whether it's other influencers or other athletes posting on their accounts or certain trainers posting on accounts. And it really made me question everything. And honestly, in the past few years, I've questioned a lot on social media, but this story, which I'm about to tell, that's so crazy, so insane, it made me think twice about everything going on online and how just dishonest some people can be. So, I am not on TikTok. I don't want to be on TikTok. I honestly didn't want to hear about who these people were in this story, but it was all over the internet. I heard it from other friends. I saw it in my feed on Instagram. So it even came into the Instagram world, and it is insane. So basically, what happened was this one influencer on TikTok, her name is Kylan Darnell, and I'll link her TikTok account in the caption below. So you can see the actual video that she had posted. But what happened during Christmas was she did a Christmas haul of all the gifts she received from her mother. So she gets on camera and she's showing her new Chanel bag, her new Gucci bag, and all these insanely expensive items. And it's not like she just got one or two of them. She got like 10 bags. And her sister, Izzy Darnell, also did the same thing. She posted a Christmas haul video with all of these insanely expensive designer bags that were $20,000 to $50,000. So that kind of made people question, oh, that's a little insane for a girl who goes to Alabama and she seems just like a regular girl. And is any of this real? So, designer handbag zealots called her out on it. So, people who know designer bags inside and out, they know how the bag is stitched. They know if you get it in what type of box you get it in. They know if there's a tag on it when you receive it or not. And the first thing that gave away that all these bags were fake was they had tags on them after she unboxed them. So I don't know much about designer bags, but apparently for a Chanel purse, they take the tags off when you get it out of the box. So that was red flag number one. And then you had other people online calling out how the bag was not stitched properly. It was totally a knockoff bag from this website where the bag's like really $7. So basically, she was lying to her followers that the bags were originals and a really expensive price tag. And it just, the whole thing blew up. Everyone just started to lose trust for influencers even more. And it just made people think, holy crap, are other people I follow lying online? So it was this whole crazy story. And I think it's such a good message to segue into the youth sports space that there is a lot of dishonesty going on, and people are just posting the highlight reel and they're not telling the whole story, which is why it gets so dangerous to compare to other people's lives because it is all smoke and mirrors and you don't know the life that they truly live. But it still can make you resentful or it can make you feel like a complete failure when you're looking at all these other people online who are maybe having a better life than you, or their kids on a better soccer team, or their kid is training with a professional trainer, or another family lives in a better neighborhood than you, or they're going on a crazy spring break vacation. You're really jealous of them. And they're posting all these highlight reels, and you just feel like a failure watching these people. Maybe some of their lives are real. Maybe they are happy. Maybe they're not. You don't know. So that's why it's so dangerous to compare and to feel like a failure when you're looking around at other people because you don't know the whole story. And I wrote in my book, Female Athlete High Performance, a chapter on how to deal with jealousy and comparison. And I say you always should be careful of who you're jealous of because everyone deals with problems. So maybe the athlete on that higher level team has a coach they don't like, or the girls don't get along. You just don't know. So for you to be jealous of that person, you don't know what sacrifices they're making. You don't know what problems they're dealing with. Everyone has their own problems. So be careful when you're jealous and comparing to other people. Or maybe you look around on Instagram and you see all these other parents posting their daughters hashtag on their grind, hashtag no days off, and they're training every single day. And you're just sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, should we be training? Are we doing enough? Is our girl getting better? Is she falling behind because her friends are training more than her? Like, what do we do? But again, on that, you also don't see the full story. Does that girl like training that much? Or is it all for show? And the parents posting that on the account, making it seem like she's enjoying the training. Maybe she's nursing an overuse injury. Maybe her muscles are always sore. Maybe she's starting to dread going to practice because she doesn't have any days off. Again, you don't know the full picture. And I know it's easy for me to give this advice and it's harder to do, but you have to stop looking around at all these other accounts because it is very deceiving what's happening. And I'll be honest, I've had to take a step back myself too because I get frustrated now with my eyes are much more open to all the nonsense out there. And after this Kylan Darnell story, I see it in my own industry with other coaches and trainers. I recently looked at a YouTube account that has over 100,000 subscribers, but then I looked at their video engagement and I was like, wait a minute, they're not even breaking 1,000 views per video. And that got me thinking, did they buy their subscribers? So it's stuff like that where I'm just like, oh, I could be resentful that I don't have enough subscribers. But at the same token, it's like, well, maybe they bought their subscribers. And here I am slowly growing naturally and organically. And I would rather stay in my integrity than do something shady like that and lie to people online that I'm bigger than I actually am. Another thing I see is on Instagram, people buying followers, a lot of training accounts, a lot of online coaches are buying followers. And you easily can just tell by clicking on their followers. And if you see people who don't have profile pictures or the profile picture is just a random stock photo, that's a robot. That is a bot follower. So it's easy to tell. And I think people are starting to see through this crap even more. And I just urge you to just use discernment, even hiring trainers like me, like really look at their account and what they're posting and are they buying their followers? Do they have engagement on their posts? Are people interacting? You just have to really dig deep or click on their follower list. I think for me with Instagram, I didn't even mean for mine to get to, I think it's almost at 18,000 followers. But I think sometimes you can have people who post a very viral video and that's where they get their initial followers from. Mine blew up after I posted the video talking about all the acronyms in the youth soccer space and how they don't really mean anything if you don't have a good coach or you don't have a good team chemistry environment. And that just went viral and it got a ton of comments. A bunch of people started to follow my account. So you can have that too, where someone goes viral maybe like one or two times and followers come in, but just be aware of what people are doing. Another thing in my space that's really crazy is just the like life and business coaching from like performance coaches or mental coaches or even like dietitians. They're starting to get into business coaching and they're basically trying to sell their business growth course based on how good their life appears on their social media. Like, oh, look at me. I make passive income. I get to travel the world. I get to like wake up at 10 a.m. Like, look how great my life is. If someone has to say like how great their life is online, I would immediately ask questions. People who are truly living fulfilling and happy lives or going through the youth sports journey in integrity and a fulfilling way, they don't have to get all up on Instagram and tell people how well they're doing. Like I don't know. I feel like it's just a weird sense of insecurity if you have to get on and be like, look how amazing like everything's going. I don't know if I buy that. But it's crazy. People are just like selling this idea that their lives are so good. And I know a lot of these people, and I hate to say it, but not all of them are doing that well, at least not as well as they make it out on social. It's really interesting and honestly, it's starting to frustrate me more and more because I just see the comparison that a lot of girls I work with go through in the youth sports space. They feel they have to keep up with their other friends, how they're training, how they're not taking days off, or they have to keep up with the college scholarship scene or getting recruited, and they're just so not focused on their own journey and their own productivity, and it takes away from them working on themselves and finding purpose within their own adventure in all this. And when you look around, you are on someone else's storyline. It takes away from you and it takes away from your growth. And it can really build up that resentment and that jealousy inside of you that is totally unnecessary. Because again, you don't know what others are going through. And not everyone's fully happy. Not everyone's fully perfect who you're looking at. So just really ask yourself, okay, how can I keep my eyes on my own paper? So I think the biggest thing with this is, and I know you guys have heard this advice over and over again, it's just getting super annoying, but just make your world smaller, meaning get off social media or at least stop looking around at these other accounts that make you feel like crap. You want to look at accounts that are motivating you to be healthier or train smarter and have quality sessions. You want to follow accounts who have been maybe trusted experts for many years. And you don't have to have such a big circle of people. Really narrow your circle and have people who have done good work, who have gotten people results, who are empathetic and caring for your daughter. And one analogy I like to make is my husband and I, when we moved into this house, it took us a little bit of time to really narrow the circle of people who are going to come in and do projects on the house. So in the home improvement space, you don't know what the heck you're getting. You can have people coming to your house who don't do the job properly, or they charge an arm and a leg and they rip you off and they try to upsell you for an HVAC installation, or they install some drywall and then they end up breaking something else in your house. We had people in our house a couple years ago who totally cracked our front doorstep from moving things inside and out of the house, and just they were just careless and reckless. And now we finally narrowed it down to trusted experts who we know they're not going to ruin our house, they're going to do the job properly, it's going to be a quality job, and they're going to charge us the right price for it. So really think of your daughter's journey as your home improvement circle. You want trustworthy people coming into your house. You want just a small circle of people to look at and be like, okay, they're going to help my daughter. You don't want to get on Instagram or TikTok and look at all of these accounts in your daughter's journey, whether it's dietitians or training or speed or mental coaches. Stop making your world so wide because it's so overwhelming and it really ruins the quality. It makes you confused. You feel like you can't pick through the right information. You have to really narrow it down. And sometimes you have to narrow it down by word of mouth referrals and talking to other people and really asking questions. Is this person going to take care of my daughter? So I really encourage you, make your world smaller so that you have a trusted circle of people to help in your daughter's journey. That's why with this podcast, I sometimes have the same guests over and over again. Like Kirsten Jones has been on a few times. Carmen Bott has talked about ACL rehab. Sam Portland has been on for speed. Tony Holler has also been on for speed. And Cynthia Monteleone for metabolics and nutrition. I try to rotate in very familiar people that you all can build trust with so you don't have to look around and be like, well, do I follow this dietitian and this one and then so no, like I want to give you someone who's giving really good science-based information that you can take and know that they're trustworthy. So that's why with this podcast I have very similar people on a lot of times. I look back on my childhood and and I'm sure a lot of you parents and adults can relate, but our worlds were small back then because our focus was just in our town or our neighborhood and our school. And at school, we always had like the one kid who was like the best athlete or the one girl who was like the pretty girl in the class or whatever. But like nowadays, you see all these freak athletes, you see all these people who are prettier, and it's like, holy crap, this is so stressful. But back in the day, we're just like, oh, well, Sally's the pretty girl at school. It is what it is. Joe's the athlete, this guy's the band nerd, or this girl is really good in drama. And our worlds were just so small. And now you always see like so many people who are better than you. I mean, that just is how it is. So I think my next piece of advice after making your world smaller, just realize that no matter what, if you decide to kind of peep around, there's always going to be someone faster, stronger, taller, better looking, more talented, whatever you want to say. And that's why you have to come back to yourself. Really focus on your daughter's journey. Is she happy? Is she healthy? Is she becoming empowered and confident and resilient? And that's really all that matters. And if you feel like you're missing out, come back to that relationship with your daughter and check in with her. Because I think sometimes as parents, we tend to like think our kid feels that they're missing out, but it's really just us. So I really want you to connect with your daughter and really check in with her fulfillment, her happiness, because that's all that matters. And not everything you see on social media is real. A lot of it is fake, and a lot of people aren't truly happy. If you really dig deep, and you can really see that people are lying about their lives, they're lying about their following count, they're lying about how many athletes they train. I mean, I could go on and on about the craziest stuff I've seen in my industry and in youth sports in general, but you have to come back to your happiness, your daughter's happiness, and is she on the right path? So I hope this helped. I know this was a lot to think about for today, and maybe some of you haven't thought about this before. Maybe some of you have just kind of consumed all the information on social media and didn't think to question it. But I urge you, you need to question everything, and you need to make sure you find trusted people, trusted experts to have in your circle, because your daughter's sports journey, it does take a little small army. It takes people like her team coach, maybe her performance coach, maybe a dietitian. It takes just a small army of people who you really trust. And I truly believe that it's better to have a group of 5 close people, close friends, or experts than 100 who you don't really know too well. The relationships are kind of lukewarm. So, yeah, I just urge you to keep asking questions and keep finding the right people for your daughter, keep following the right accounts, and don't worry about what other parents are doing because you don't know how that family functions. You don't know what's going on in the household. You don't know how their daughter really feels about all of this that's being posted. Just focus on you and your daughter. All right, guys, thank you. I will see you on the next episode.